Okay, welcome to the Canucks Chatter post-game show. I'm Rafal. With me here is Victor. Canucks fall to the Nashville Predators 2-1 in game number 5 series. 3-2 lead for Vancouver going to game 6, which will be on Friday. What are your immediate thoughts after the game?
A little bit unlucky.
Mm-hmm.
He just had a couple chances that it didn't go through. So I thought the team played well. Silas was very good again. He was
Mm-hmm.
very calm, made the saves. Well, the second one, he could have probably won it back, but nothing you can do about it there. The team had a lot of jump. They showed up to play, and Nashville just won. They got that one lucky bounce
Mm-hmm.
better than the Canucks, and give them credit for that.
Yeah.
How did you think of the game?
Yeah, pretty similar, right? Like it was a close game. Just pulling up the shots. The shots are 22 Nashville to 20 Vancouver, so it's close. I thought there's a couple of flurries, especially to start the game, where Vancouver looked really well, zipping the puck around. They looked dangerous at times, just couldn't get more than that one goal. Nashville, yeah, opportunistic. I thought both goalies played well. I thought Silovs made some good saves. You can't blame him for either goal. First one's a scramble that gets knocked in, and the second one's I don't even think he saw the shot until it went past him. So yeah, it's a tough one, right? Like Vancouver gets that first goal in the third period, you're kind of feeling good. Maybe they can hold on to the lead. But Nashville, give them credit, resilient. They hit a couple posts, had a couple of like that McDonough empty net chance to take the lead. I was like, "Ooh, is this going to be like a replay of last game where Sissons hits the post on the empty netter and then Vancouver goes to tie it?"
I wish it was. It would have been a replay.
Yeah,
All they needed was
yeah,
6.1 seconds, but they couldn't get it this time.
no, yeah, but yeah, close game, right? Like I don't know. I think
Yeah, it,
when,
I
I want
usually don't like blaming the refs, but
to
there's the Joshua power play where Nashville scored on. That was a iffy call. I don't know if
the one where
that
he
he
got
hit
hit
a
like boarding, was it? Or
yeah he turned
yeah,
his back into him when Joshua was going in for a shoulder to shoulder. And then
mm,
there's a play later after they scored. Not the Canucks power play was going to do much from the looks of it, but Pedersen was definitely not tripped by Tyson Berry and no call. And then there's
mm-hmm.
another play late during that rush, and I think it was Lindholm who was trying to get the puck, and he was tripped up again. No call. Oh, but
Yeah,
like the power plays for this series has been heavily slanted toward Nashville. Not that either power play has done much, but uh,
yeah. I think it's like a combined 3 goals by both teams on the power play out of 30 something chances. So the stats are
four,
not too good. Yeah, it's
two each.
not very good. Nashville's definitely had more power plays though.
Yeah,
I feel like Vancouver on the power play, maybe not today, but usually they look pretty dangerous.
yeah,
Nashville, a little less so, but I mean, I guess they got the goal, and that's what
yeah.
matters for them.
Tonight the Canucks power play was not on.
No.
Um, he was good in the first period, but then his he kind of became less visible. He didn't play poorly,
Mm-hmm.
just less visible. Zadorov and Myers were uh, outstanding again. Who knew
Yeah.
those two behemoths would be the ones that be carrying the team at this moment?
Yeah, Zadorov. I mean, he's a UFA, right? After
Yeah,
his, he's definitely his stock and value is going up. So,
most of the
um,
Canucks defense are UFA this year.
who are they? Yeah. Who else is
Yeah,
who else are UFAs again? It's
Myers,
Myers,
and
Cole.
Hronik's
Oh, Hronik. Yeah, that's
restricted,
the
and
big.
Cole's unrestricted as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots of decisions to make, but we'll think and deal with that later.
Yeah,
I thought, Saros was. I mean, his save percentage is not good. It's 850 something through the first 4 games. I thought he definitely played better this game. He, I mean, that Zadorov was a great shot, but bad goal to
yeah,
allow.
he didn't have his angles covered.
No,
Prior to
small
this
guy.
game, he was giving up one goal for every 7 shots.
Yeah, I mean, it's 85 save percent, 850 something save percentage. That's
Yeah,
not good.
a little bit
Um,
better after tonight, but he
yeah,
still looks beatable. But he made some big saves to keep his team in it.
for sure. Yeah.
They they deserve to win. and the Canucks are also unlucky to lose. So
Yeah.
every game has to have a winner and loser, and unfortunately, the Canucks couldn't get the win this time, in which they did deserve it, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, both teams played well. It wasn't one-sided at all. I thought, like, just early on in the game, I felt like Vancouver looked like the better team. Like, they looked dangerous. Nashville didn't have too much in the first period. But I guess, for Nashville on their end, they're probably like, okay, they weathered the storm. The crowd was going crazy. It was a great crowd. Every home game for Vancouver has been pretty crazy.
The crowd was in it from start to finish tonight, which was really good.
Yeah. Shout out to them. They're awesome. Just couldn't get that second goal and 2 goals against. Is there something that you would hope more that the Vancouver could do to maybe get more than 1 goal?
I wish their second line center wasn't playing hurt right now. He was not that visible again for the most part.
Yeah, he had that 2-on-1 where he got a shot up high, but yeah.
His 2 line mates are very good. Hoglander had at least 3 hits tonight, if not more. And him being one of the smaller guys on the team. I saw Mikheyev might have hands of granite, but he was skating really well.
Yeah, he's a good skater. Yeah.
But I think that for the most part they played well. Just couldn't get that 1 goal. And then late in the third period, Nashville went back to game 2 Nashville and just plugged up the middle, forcing just easy shots from the perimeter from the Canucks. That's all they could muster. There was no room in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of been like a very defensive battle. Like you compare this series to some of the other ones. There's, maybe not as flashy or as exciting, but all games are close, right? There's not really, I mean, maybe other than game 1, but there's no like huge blowouts or anything like that. Like Hoglander, I don't know if he has any points in this series, but I still think he's been effective, right? Like you said, he's throwing hits, he's making plays, he's being physical. Mikheyev has that speed. Pettersson, definitely some kind of injury. I think I was looking at a stat on Twitter here. James Cebulski posted that in his last 38 games, Pettersson, regular season and playoffs, he only has 7 goals in his last 38 games. It's like,
Yeah. Even when I saw a video of him taking one-timers in Nashville before game 4, it didn't have the same zip that he normally has on it. They were just regular shots going into the back of the net. And we've all seen his shot where you do not want to get in the way of it.
Yeah, it's hard, right? I wonder too, because he isn't skating as well and not really shooting as much. And when he is shooting, it's not as effective. If it is an injury, you wonder if it's like, something like a groin or like a mid area.
Shoulder or a rib. Yeah.
Could be too, but I mean, I guess that can affect your skating as well. But like a rib or something like that'll affect your shooting and skating, right?
He threw a couple hits early in the first period.
Yeah.
And they were like impactful hits too, jarring turnovers, and then the same P that we've seen for the last couple months came back. You're like, oh, he's not doing much again.
Yeah.
Like whatever injury it is, I don't know if maybe they should have rested him in the game 82.
Yeah. I forget who did they rest? Who did they rest before the playoffs?
Cole, Hronek, Besser, and Miller.
Yeah, maybe he would have been a guy that you probably wanted to give a couple games off, or at least like 1 or 2. Especially because if he is injured, did that happen at the end of the season? Did it happen during the playoffs? Practice? We have no idea.
Like after he came back from Toronto at the All-Star game, he had a good little stretch and then hasn't been the same since. I don't know. Toronto had some bad food there that he ate.
Yeah, it's just
the water in Toronto.
A few months long stomach flu. I guess we won't know. We definitely won't know until.
I don't know if he needs to sit out game 6 because it worked for Toronto. Maybe it'll work out for Vancouver. It's like maybe he has an upper body injury.
Yeah, I think for Toronto, they said that Austin Matthews is dealing with an injury, but they just don't know what it is. I don't know why. I don't know. That's a weird situation because he was sick and now he's had an injury. So I think it was an article written by Chris Johnson said that like he does have an injury. So I guess he has some sources. I don't know why they wouldn't make that public. An injury's an injury, but
Chris Johnson's quite a credible source. I take I believe what he says.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, Pettersson is could be injured, but he's well enough to play, right? So you still have to find a way to contribute in whatever way,
And I don't think they should change wingers off Lindholm's line. I don't think you should take away from Peter to pay Paul this time. Maybe wake him up maybe put him on the fourth line and put Bluger up onto that second line.
Well, I mean, like put Pettersson. I don't think you're gonna drop Pettersson to the fourth line. That'll be like a smack in the face to him. But it's hard. How do you get him going?
Maybe that will get him going. Playing with PDG and Lafferty, maybe that will force him to be more of the play driver that he is.
Yeah, but you're not gonna put a guy like that on your fourth line. I wouldn't see that happening.
Normally you wouldn't, but also you put out all the stops in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean maybe if he was really struggling, you really didn't like his game, you can put him on the third line for some shifts or something. But
not
either way, right?
It's third line right now.
What's that? Yeah.
Lindholm, Joshua, and Garland are playing together for me.
Yeah, like Lindholm's been effective, right? Like he's been kind of worth the price now. I think there was a time where everyone's like, "Oh, was he worth all that you gave up?" And he's kind of what you wanted him was for the playoffs, and he's delivering, right? Getting goals, making good defensive plays.
Yeah. He was hurt, and he sat out a couple of weeks and came back, and he's looked like the guy that we wanted him to be.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's been good. I mean, in fact, I thought he played good today as well.
Do you have his face-off stats for tonight?
Yeah, I didn't pull those up. Do you know what they are?
Yeah. No, I couldn't quite get them, and he struggled. He struggled a little bit in Game 4, in Game 3. I mean, with O'Reilly beating him, but
hopefully it's hard. O'Reilly's a great face-off man. Yeah. He's been around for a long time. That's always Lindholm, right? Like he's always been good on face-offs. Yeah.
O'Reilly's the former Selke Trophy. He might have lost a step, but winning face-offs is still something that you can definitely keep at it throughout, even in your waning years.
Yeah. When some players, their foot speed, just kind of starts to go away. You still have to rely on those instincts and the smart being, cerebral player.
Yeah, 42-year-old Joe Thornton was still winning face-offs.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need speed to win face-offs. You need. I think the more you do it, and especially those guys who have had so much experience, right? Experience plays a big thing because you see these centers that come into the league, they struggle with face-offs when they enter the league. There's a lot to learn. So what do you?
Some guys will have tricks too, like myself. I have a trick for winning face-offs, but because I have no strength. So some of these guys, the pros, obviously they're 50 million times better than me. They have strength and tricks. Yeah,
for sure, right? Like you're not. They're finding little ways to kind of almost cheat in a way, right? Like on the face-off draws. So going into Game 6, there's a couple days break here, so maybe that gives Pettersson or whoever's injured some rest. Maybe that helps them. So let's go back actually. Before the series started, we made a prediction. You said Canucks in 5. I said Canucks in 6. So mine still has a chance if Canucks win next game.
I didn't miss it by much.
No, I mean, it was close.
They had a chance.
It looked like it. When they got that goal, I don't know about you, but I kind of felt like, okay, you know what? I think they can close this game out.
I was getting excited.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god. Close it out.
Yeah. I still think Vancouver's going to win the series. I think next game. And I'll be pretty surprised if it's forced to Game 7, but I feel like Vancouver's going to come up pretty hard in Nashville. But
Hopefully, I wonder if it will be the game 3 Vancouver that shows up, where they go in a defensive score just enough and then control play defensively.
yeah.
Maybe? Or hopefully it's not the game 4 Canucks that show up.
Yeah, where they don't barely get any shots, but still, well, they found a way to win, so you'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take the win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tight game. Like, especially now. Like, I mean, this whole series has been tight, but usually in series, when you start going down to like game 5, 6, and 7, it's always pretty close, right? Because they know now there's like no margin for error. You know, you screw up game 1 or 2, you still have another crack at it. Now, when you screw up, I mean, Nashville's they lose, they're out, so they can't afford to make any mistakes.
So I think I saw someone say, they can see Nashville winning 3 in a row, but they can't see Vancouver losing 3 in a row. And I think that's a very good point.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I look even at the goals today, it's like Nashville doesn't scare you offensively. What scares you is them, like, you know, playing defense and protecting their net. Yeah. But I just think that Vancouver also does that really well. They play well defensively, but they have the offensive power that Nashville doesn't have.
Yeah.
And with Saros playing the way he is, and Vancouver's third goalie playing the way he is, you know, I'm really confident that Vancouver's going to find a way to close out the series. Yeah. Hopefully on Friday.
Yeah. Do you think they should have challenged that first goal?
Right. Yeah. Good you brought that up. I was going to bring that up as well. Yeah, kind of. I don't know. It was kind of a hard play because he does get, I mean, you know, they don't challenge it, but the first thought I had was going back to, I don't know if you watched the Tampa Florida game or saw a clip of the few goals that Tampa Bay had waved off. Man, I don't know. I don't know what's a goal and what's going to come back sometimes. No. You have no idea. Yeah. I wonder if they were thinking that too, because if you challenge it, it's and you're wrong, you get a penalty, right?
Yeah.
So, what did you think?
I think it might have been worth it. The power play's the penalty kill has been doing very well, and there's no harm there is harm, but I think it could have been a good call because I feel like they did push Silovs in. I don't know if it was going to be Bluger or the oncoming Nashville player that pushed him in.
Right. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch that clip because. I mean, somebody the Vancouver, the team that they got there looking at that must have felt like there wasn't enough for them to challenge. So they
Yeah, it was probably a 50-50 call, which they're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that could have, you never know how that could have gone.
It could have gone either way. And it wasn't clear cut yes or no. And I guess they didn't want to take the chance of going shorthanded.
I mean, thinking about it now, I don't think they must have been 50-50. If it was 50-50, I feel like they would have challenged, right? Yeah. What would you rather have, a goal against or no goal against and you give them a power play? Well, even if they score, you're in the same spot.
It would have been a goal against and power play.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, so they must have, I don't know. It's, well, anyway, it doesn't really matter.
That's another thing about the reffing. It was just...
Wasn't the greatest, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's a lot of missed calls.
Yeah,
and some questionable ones, but
they have been there a couple missed calls against Vancouver that Nashville probably would be complaining. Yes, probably.
Yeah.
But I feel Vancouver does have a little bit more to gripe about, but they're not always clear cut. Again, those 50-50 calls, it seems Nashville's getting them, whereas Vancouver isn't. That's the frustrating part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of them were like that. The JT Miller hook was an obvious hook. Like that one was a penalty.
It also looked like they clamped down on a Miller stick, chicken winged them.
Yeah, I mean, I think most players just kind of have it in their brain when their stick gets up around their hands, they're gonna,
I thought the Zadorov penalty on Forsberg was weak. I've seen the Nashville players do that to Pettersson and Hughes, and no call.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't pull up the sheets, but I wonder what the amount of penalties were called on each team today.
I think it was 4-2.
4-2. Okay. Yeah. Only the one.
And once again, Vancouver didn't have a power play after the first period.
Oh, yeah, that would have helped them for sure.
Maybe
Get some more offense. I mean, at least they had 20 shots today, not 12.
Yeah.
So that's
They got
a
more than
positive.
a couple shots after the first period. In the first period.
Yeah. They look well. They look good in the first. I thought. I mean, it's just a close game, right? First goal scored in the third.
Yeah, very little to complain about. They did well. It's playoff hockey. Not every series is going to be like Colorado and Winnipeg.
Yeah. That's sad for. I mean, yeah, Winnipeg losing. Whew, that's a rough one. They had a good team, but that Colorado, you can never count them out. When those guys get going, it's
Winnipeg had good defense structure all season until they didn't. They got great quality goaltending until they didn't.
Yeah, well, Hellebuck is like, I mean, he's the Vezina front runner, and now you see what happened in the playoffs. You're like, oh man, that's
made the most saves. He's made the most saves in the playoffs, but he's also let in the most goals.
Yeah, it's been busy. Okay. What are your predictions for next game? What do you think is going to happen? Game 6. Do you think it's going to be a close one? Do you think Vancouver's going to come out?
It's going to be another. I think it's going to be a 3-2 Vancouver win. They have to go back. I would go back to Seelovs again.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame him.
He's earned another start. He looked confident out there. His rebound control is very solid. Nashville had their chances, but it wasn't. Not too many of them were 5-alarm bell little ringing saves that he had to do. He was in position. It was a very solid. He's very comfortable. He's confident. You have to go back to him in Game 6. Nothing against the Smith, but I think he's going to be wearing the baseball cap again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he, like you said, he played great. Like, he's making saves, tracking the puck well. He didn't have a chance on both goals that went in. He hasn't gave up any bad goals or threw a rebound out.
Calm. He looks in net to me, where the way he plays. There are some things that make him look like a backup, but for the most part, he has that number one tendency where makes the save, it's there. It's not panicky after making that first save.
Mm-hmm. It's the composure, right? Like the playoffs, certain goalies can in the regular season game can have composure. In the playoffs, they lose it or they get too scrambly or think too much. He's very quiet in the net and makes the right save. And the only rebound that I can think of that he gave up was that Forsberg basically bang pass off the pad that McDonough missed a wide open net. But that's one of those plays that there's nothing you can do as a goalie to not give up a rebound there.
Those are skill plays.
Yeah. There's you're in position. It's hitting your pad. It's coming out that way. What you just got to hope for is your defenseman to be there to clear out the rebound. McDonough, that's a.
That's why he's a defensive defenseman.
Yeah. I mean, but he's still he's a great player. I just in this series I've paid attention to McDonough and I'm like, he does not look the same as he did in Tampa, for instance, when he's part of those cups.
He's got a lot of miles on those legs and those bodies. Body.
For sure. You can see it. I felt like he was, slow to corners. I mean that you got to score that rebound when you got a wide open net. But I guess
Zadorov would have.
Yeah, he would have put it under the bar. From even a worse angle, like he did. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I don't think anyone's worried about. Fans aren't panicking or anything like that. It's been a close series. I think Vancouver's been the better team.
There are a lot of people panicking.
Yeah, I think it's just the nature to be a fan, but I don't think there's too much to panic about. They played a good game. I mean, had they lost 5-0, then you can be like, But it's a close game, and they look like the better team.
It was the best game this series.
Yeah. Well, I think the offensively, game one is maybe the more lopsided one's game one, but they're all close. I have a different view
than game one, so I'm a little biased on that. But the 4 games that I've watched on TV, this was both teams playing their best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really close one. I think. I just think again. I think the Vancouver's offenses is what they're pretty close. Like Vancouver's had better goaltending defensively. They've both been good. offensively. I think Vancouver's just had the more, maybe not the shot totals have been less than Nashville, but the quality scoring chances getting to the net has been a bit better by Vancouver. But not in this game, I guess.
You got to be good to be lucky. You got to be lucky to be good.
Yep. Okay. Anything else you want to bring up before we end this off here?
No, like they got to keep play the exact same way they did today, and a game 6 win will be good. They'll come back to Vancouver, rest up, wait for that Edmonton LA winner. Hopefully LA, which will be going to 7 games, and go on from there.
Yeah, I think they're playing tomorrow, I believe, Edmonton, LA. So We'll see. Maybe the winner of this Vancouver-Nashville series will know who their opponent is by next game, unless LA decides to win and continues the series. But okay, cool.
Get that 1-3-1 going.
1-3-1 going. Yeah, it hasn't worked. You can't stop me, David. Give us a follow. Our Twitter handles are underneath our name there. Please subscribe to the YouTube page. Helps us a lot. Like the video, comment, all that good stuff. And see you. How
about the new kids on the block here?
Yeah, help us out. Anything. Give us your thoughts. Thanks for tuning in, and see you next time after Friday's game.
Toodles.